Hey everyone, today I have a new video again. Today it's going to be on yet another Vanguard deck profile, this time from, the Stargate deck, the new Stargate deck that was introduced in Set 3. This is Gravidia Nordlinger. This is, or no, not Stargate, Brandgate, well, same thing technically. We'll just go into it. How about it? As usual, we'll start with the ride line, and that will be the grade Zero, Gravidia Deleon. It's a grade 0, same as all other grade 0s. Next up, we've got Gravidia Wells. When this unit is placed on Vanguard, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and choose any number of meteorite cards, reveal them, and put you into your hand, and then shuffle the rest back into your deck. Alright. So, since we've got another new key, well, kind of a keyword, meteorite, we'll get into what that is. Now, this is one of the cards that is a special case. You can play up to 16 of this. However, I'm only running 13. So, this is the only meteorite we've got right now. We've got 13 Neatness Meteor Shower. Yes, 13. Now, again, you can play up to 16. That's its first ability. Then when this is placed in your order zone, so like almost all of the other Brandgate decks, this revolves around set orders. This one around the meteorite orders. When this is placed there, you can soul charge 1. And then if it was placed by your Vanguard's ability, you draw 1. Now, thanks to this, your deck runs out very quickly, and there's not a lot of unit cards in general, because again, you're playing 13 of this. So you've pretty much only got one shot at winning, but it's a very high chance. You want to end the game with this deck on turn 3 or 4 if possible. Other than that, you will lose. This is probably the most glass cannon deck in Overdress right now. Maybe, I don't know, there might be others, but this is definitely the most glass cannon deck that I've got. And then when this card is put into your drop from the order zone, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So, well, we'll get into how you can do that later. We'll get those out of the way now that we've taken care of them. We'll continue with the rest of the ride line. We'll go to the grade 2, Gravidia Beringer. When this is placed on Vanguard or rear guard, if you have a meteorite in your order zone, Soul Blast 3, draw a card, and then it gets plus 5k until the end of the turn. You'll probably only be using that ability once. I've only used it once. Well, once in a game. It's fine, but it's not that bad, honestly. And then on rear guard, if your drop zone and order zone have a total of 5 or more set orders, this gets plus 5k. So really, you don't need the plus 5 off of its first ability. The main is for the draw, but you don't really have to use it if you don't want to. And then, of course, the grade 3, Nordlinger herself. When this is placed on Vanguard, you can search your deck for up to 2 meteorites and set them in your order zone. And then you shuffle, of course. And then when this unit attacks, counterblast 1 and put 1 or more meteorites from your order zone into your drop. Until the end of that battle, this unit gets plus 15 if you put 1. If you put 3 or more, you get an extra crit. And if you put 5 or more, your trigger effects activate twice, which is incredible. This gives you the ability to one-shot your opponent. You can probably get away with this once or twice in a game. Really only twice if you're lucky. Only do the 5 if you absolutely know you're going to win. And thanks to the the Brandgate Overtrigger, you can get your effects doubled again, I believe. So, yeah, that's the ride deck, and we're pretty much almost done with this deck already. Three more of Gravidia in the main. 3 more of Barringer in the main. 4 of Stanner. This almost has the same ability as the Ride Line Grade 2, except it's also on Guardian Circle, very interestingly enough. And it also gets plus 5k shield, so that's very cool. And then we've got 3 more of the grade 1. I didn't go into its rearguard skill, so we'll go into it here. If your Vanguard is Nordlinger, you can Soul Blast 1, choose up to 2 meteorites in your hand, and play them. And then you get plus 2k for the turn. Very cool. And, well, now we just go into the basic stuff that's in any Vanguard deck. Of course, that being the 4 perfect guards, the 8 crits, the 4 heals, the 3 fronts, and of course the overtrigger for Brandgate. And yeah, this was honestly a very short video, mostly because of how this deck works. There's a lot of repeated cards. There's not really a lot to go through, but even though this one was short, I hope you enjoyed it. And well, honestly, let's make this a double feature. We're not only going to do Nordlinger, we're also going to do... Sure. Greedon. So this is my first Dark States deck for Overdress. It's pretty cool. It has a dragon, which I always like. Ow. That was a finger. We're all good. Let's get into the ride line, as usual. We've got Taida, which is the grade 0. Plain and simple, just like any other grade 0, as I said. This is Gomon. When it is rode upon by the grade 2, reveal Greedon in your ride deck to draw a card. Interesting. And then we've got Boshoku, which was mentioned on the grade 1. And what it is rode upon by Greedon, you can take a card from your hand and put it into your soul, and then search your deck for another copy of the same card you sent to your soul. With this, you can set up some interesting stuff. It's pretty nice. It's basically a search and an extra soul. And then, of course, Greedon himself. If your soul has another copy of Greedon in it, your damage zone becomes 7. Every other basic deck in Vanguard, and ever, pretty much up until this point, has been 6 damage. I think there has been some Angel Feather decks which could go up to 8, but those were in very rare situations. However, this is one of the first that can actually kind of get that off, like, consistently. It's a pretty good deck. And, well, then we'll look at his actual ability. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, Soul Blast 2, put 4 standing rear guards into the soul, and he restands. Very cool. Of course, 3 more Greedons. You've got 4 Hysteria. This is another grade 3 and is your other only attacker in the deck. When this unit attacks, it gets plus 2k until the end of turn for each of your standing rear guards, and if your damage is 5 or more, it gets another... Oh wait, no, it gets plus 5. Okay. Okay, that's that for this guy. We'll do Boshoku again. We covered his rearguard ability. Let's do his soul ability, which is probably the first time we've heard that on this channel at least. In the soul, during your turn, if your damage zone has 4 or more cards, Greedon gets plus 5k, and this stacks for each copy of Boshoku in the soul. So naturally, automatically, since Boshoku is one of the ride line cards, you automatically get plus 5. And then you get another plus 5 for each Boshoku you put in. So, pretty neat, I think. You can get Greedon very strong, which is pretty cool. And then next we've got Muka. This is another grade 2. When this is placed on rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is Greedon. Count Blast 1, Soul Blast 2. Choose a card from your soul and call it to a rearguard circle. Technically, that Soul Blast 2 is a Soul Blast 3. I mean, he'll probably be cut eventually as there's more cards in set 4 for this deck. But for now, he's here, although he can also kind of help out with some of the cards in set 4. Although he'll probably be dropped to a different ratio instead of 4 eventually. And then we've got Steam Mage Ashorda. This is kind of an extra guarding card. You can also use it to fill your soul. If your soul has 7 or more cards, this unit gets plus 5k shield, and then when it is retired from Guardian Circle, you may put him into your soul. Very nice. And then we've got another Gomon. We didn't go into Gomon's other ability, so we might as well do that here. I gotta remember. And when this is put from the rearguard into your soul by your Vanguard's ability, Counter Blast 1. Oh, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, Counter Blast 1. And until the end of turn, when your opponent would call cards from hand to Guardian Circle, they have to call 2 or more. So, pretty cool. It makes your opponent waste guards. And then another card that gives extra abilities to Greedon. We've got Enkane. We've got 4 of him. When he's placed on rearguard, if you Persona Road that turn, you countercharge 1. Very nice. And then when this unit is placed in rearguard to your soul from a Vanguard's ability, you Counter Blast 2. Choose your Vanguard, and it gets plus 5k and an extra drive. Very nice. A little thing of note, it did not say Greedon, so you could technically put this card in another Dark State deck, whatever else comes down the line. You can't really use it in Bruce, but you can in Barrow Magnus. So, little thing of note. This guy is kind of generic, and that's pretty good. We've got another card. Steam Battler Gungan Ram. We've only got 3 of it right now, but that's fine. He'll probably be cut out entirely for this next deck profile. Interesting thing of note. All copies of this card, besides the SPs, have an error that it has the Persona Ride logo. Yeah. I honestly thought once they were changing teams for Vanguard at Bushy Road that a lot of errors like this would stop. However, they seem to be even more worse and egregious. Yeah. Anyway, his ability, when he's placed on rearguard, counter Soul Charge 1. Soul Blast 2 and draw a card. Very nice. Of course, once we get to the end of a lot of these deck profiles, we've got the 4 perfect guards. Residual Hate Dragon is the perfect guard for Dark States. One of them is hollow, which is nice. We've got the 8 crits. These are the crits for Dark States. And here's the effect crit. Very cool. Of course, we've got the 4 heals. A little different thing from the usual 3 fronts. We've got 3 draws instead. As you won't be using a lot of your rear guards, using the front triggers don't really help in this deck other than extra shield value. However, again, that's not enough to include them in this deck. So instead, we run draws as it gets you more cards to maybe put in your soul. And plus, well, we will get effect draws in set 4, which kind of had these basically the same ability as the effect fronts. So that will kind of be fixed eventually. So for now, we've got the non-effect draws. And then the over trigger for Dark States is this guy. Hades, Dragon, Deity of Resentment, Mage held, I think. His ability is very interesting. Unlike a lot of the over triggers where you want to end the game with it, you want to get this as soon as possible. It's got the same basic over trigger ability. However, its unique ability is you get, during your turn, all of your Vanguards get plus 10k, and let's see, critical plus 1 until the end of the fight. So yeah, again, and that isn't just for all, that's pretty much referring to your Vanguard circle. So every Vanguard card, or well, every card on your Vanguard circle that you may place gets these effects. So it's more of affecting the circle the Vanguard is on, not the Vanguard itself. That's the best way I could put it. Anyway, that is these 2 deck profiles. I hope you enjoyed this kind of double feature. I probably won't do that often, mostly because, well, how you build Gravidia, it pretty much gave me the opportunity to include 2 decks in this video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it.